And we're live.
Excellent. Hello world, this is the Pod Layer Proof of Concept demo team doing what we do, which is tracking the Mojo phenomenon and then demonstrating the methodology we use to do so. All right, we're going to have our normal three-act structure. Act 1 is fundamentals, where we take the physiological cues you'll be seeing in the Mojo phenomenon and giving them names so you can make that association between the names we use and what they look like with actual samples. And for that, we like to use collaging. This week is...
We are continuing in the TV show timeline 2005 through 2009, and today we're starting off with My Name is Earl.
All right, great. Act 2 is the intermediate portion. That is the major portion of a proof of concept, where we had a week to go over 5 to 10 samples as a team, but on our own individually under blind test conditions. We're now coming together and going to see what the cohesion of accuracy is, and samples that were more challenging for the team we'll spend some time reviewing. The samples came from... Indeed, from Shailene. And then for the advanced portion, we'll do a live read, and that's where the team will do a reading in real time and get to see them talking back and forth. And the kind of dialogue they're having out loud is a dialogue they're all having individually, and you should as well, within your own psyche when one is doing a Mojo reading. Okay, that sample will come from Dire Magpie. All right, let's go ahead and do introductions and get to it. I am Naiji Coach.
I am Shailene.
I'm Zai Neodemus.
I'm Naiji Mitchell.
I'm Naiji Ben.
This is Naiji Glenn.
I'm Nijoy Bruno.
Sweet.
Great.
Away.
I will screen share with everyone. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're moving through the TV show timeline 2005 through 2009, and we're going to go in order of rotation, starting with Coach, and for our first tries, reading out a Mojo and an actor or actress's name. We'll call out a cue for that Mojo, and any time there is a new gender Mojo, we'll also call out cues for them. So without any further ado, Coach, get us started.
Okay, my name is Earl. A ne'er-do-well wins 100,000 in the lottery and decides to right all the wrongs from his past with his newfound realization. Earl is a lowlife who buys a winning lottery ticket only to get hit by a car, losing the ticket in the process. He then realizes in the hospital that his bad luck is a result of karma, in which fate punishes him for all the rotten things he's ever done in his life. Therefore, he then decides to dedicate his life to making amends to all the people he has hurt in his life.
Okay, starting off with Naiji Jason Lee as Earl Hickey. As a Naiji, let's see. He has a mustache, so you can't see the mouth too well, so I'll focus here on his eyes. Naiji will have, the primary signal will be coming from the Nai, which gives this cunning, dreamy sort of look in their, emanating from their eyes. And when they do perk-ups, it will also have this visceral laser quality, clear-eyed quality that comes from the V, like he has here on the right-hand side.
Naizi Ethan Supli. All right, the Naizi are Z Mojos. That means they're going to have Zhai as their values-based power. If you look to the picture on the right, then you can see that there's energy coming from his lower jaw. So there's this slackness in his jaw. It also gives off an unaware quality. Then if you look to the left, then you can see the smile. He still has this unaware quality. So yeah, you see a bit of like Zhai unaware resonating in the mouth.
Nice.
Nizai Jamie Presley. So as a Nizai, she's going to have G-aware expression. The emphasis of her emoting is on the upper lip, but she's also logic-based, so the emoting doesn't go above the midline, stays around the mouth area, it doesn't go much farther than that. And you can see that her emoting just has the quality of moving the audience, not just reacting to it or holding its own space.
Definitely.
This is Jinai Nadine Velazquez? I know that's wrong, but
You
That's
got
right.
it. Velasquez. Yeah.
okay. All right. So G9, they have G warm aware emoting because of G alpha go throughout their entire face up to the brown line, and also in the eyes. While you also see the G emoting, you'll also see Nye cunning eyes beneath that. It will be not as strong of a signal uh, as the G aware, but it'll be in there and it'll be still quite strong, being the tandem power.
Nice.
Nizai Eddie Steeples. Nizai also have Zai as their tandem power, so naturally they have this area in between their eyes and the top of their lip, their upper lip, where it's a very sheer area, and that's because obviously the emoting doesn't go past the midline, like Mitchell mentioned. And it also doesn't go past the eyes because they're not a tower mojo. They're not like a Zaini or a Zez Alpha. So their eyes are always, maintaining that peaking outlook.
Nice.
The girls next door. They're often blonde, very ambitious, and always beautiful. They're the young women who travel from towns and cities across America in hopes of sharing one man's incredible dream, life at the Playboy Mansion. This unique 8-episode reality series takes viewers beyond the gates and behind closed doors to reveal the world of Hugh Hefner's mansion as it has never been seen before, through the eyes of the women who live, play, and of course party with him. It's the secret side of an American legend and a fable home that has captivated the imagination. I can't read the last line. The imagination of millions. Thanks.
Naiji Hugh Hefner.
Zaini Holly Madison. As a Zaini, we looked at some Nizai above. The Zaini will, because they have Zai as their first power in its discernment, then that gives them this unflappable look. That unflappableness and sheerness in the that will emanate primarily from the cheek area, that will go into the eyes as well. Unlike the Nizai that had the eyes that were always peeking out with their buoyancy, the Zaini will actually have this unflappability go into their eye area as well.
Jivi Bridget Markhart. Okay, so the Jivi are Vi mojos. So you'll notice, especially, these are kind of juxtaposed because the one on the right, she's doing a perk up, so you see a bit of knee, but the one on the left especially, you're going to notice that she has a pinched quality to her eyes. The G goes up all around it, so it kind of tones the Vi. And she is objective, so her eyes are going to look a bit more out, but even still, since she has Vi above knee, then it's going to have this pinched kind of smoky quality.
Vzai, Kendra Wilkinson. That's new, right?
That is.
I mean, we've done much, but I just making sure I haven't missed anything. Anyway, so kind of similar to the Nizai that I did before. Again, you're going to see that G-aware expression with the emphasis on the upper lip, but not going above the midline of the face, and also not going into the eyes. How do we call it? Sharky. That's sort of the one term that we use. And the difference, though, is that the eyes aren't buoyant. They're not as diffuse. They're clear laser eyes. They have more of a hyper-real camera lens quality to them, not like bouncing around or laughing.
No.
Mary O'Connor is pending.
The closer. Deputy Police Chief Brenda Johnson runs the Priority Homicide Division of the LAPD with an unorthodox style. Her innate ability to read people and obtain confessions helps her and her team solve the city's toughest, most sensitive cases. Deputy Police Chief Brenda Lee Johnson, formerly Atlanta police officer and CIA-trained interrogator, is given the opportunity to run her own division of elite officers of the Los Angeles Police Department. Her unusual procedure for obtaining confessions, blatant disregard for politics, and country accent make her a marked woman. However, with all the bluster and bravado, she still maintains her title, the Closer.
Jaini Kira Cedric.
That is new.
As a Jaini, she looks a little bit like Steven Tyler. As a Jaini, she will have unaware Jai expression, which will be the main signal coming from her facial expression. So on the left, you see a sort of a what would you call it? Sort of an amused look, and on the right, you see more of a stone face, sort of Z heavy. You can really see a lot of Z on the right here. She's sort of stone facing. It's about as much Z as a Jaini is going to be able to project, which is to say, it's very localized right underneath the eyes. It doesn't really extend below the cheeks. The emotion is still present right up until the brim line, and it's pretty clear that you can see that even though she's not smiling much or moving much at all, but her face has a very significant emotional tone that you can discern right away on the right.
Nice. J.K. Simmons. He's an episode.
Yeah. Great bad guy.
Also a crusty dad.
That's true.
He does a really good crusty dad. Or crusty boss.
Christy something. Jaini Corey Reynolds. Jaini as a Jaini, let's see. So we're seeing the Jai, it's going up his face here. It's going above the brim line, the midline and the brim line into the eyes. He has knee eyes, but unlike the knee alpha, we were seeing some knee eye up there. His knee is not his primary, so again, that Jai goes into his eyes, and he doesn't have as much buoyancy as the knee alpha would. And also a longer face, because they're towered.
Jaini Robert Gossett.
Nicey G.W. Bailey.
Jaini Michael Paul Chan.
Shiny Mills.
Yeah.
Jinai John Tenney.
Jinai male is up first.
It's new?
Yeah, we've done ladies, but not males.
Right. Okay, so the Jinai John Tenney here. Let's see. So they have G. Well, let's look at V. No. Let's look at Nai. So you can see in the picture on the left, he's got the G emoting that goes all the way up to the brow line, but you can still see that he's got also Nai cunning eyes, but they don't actually pop out as much as his mouth does. But he still has that like very cunning quality in the eyes, and you can actually see maybe a little bit more of it on the picture on the right, where he looks like he's a little bit more channeling and disengaged and in his own little world, but it's still not, his source power, so he doesn't draw major momentum from it.
Nice. Is it Bruno?
Oh, sorry. Jinai Tony Dennison.
Jaini Philip P. Keene.
Jinai Raymond Cruz, Socrates.
Jivi Gina Rivera.
Weaves. When a suburban mother turns to dealing marijuana in order to maintain her privileged lifestyle after her husband dies, she finds out just how addicted her entire neighborhood already is. After her husband's unexpected death and subsequent financial woes, suburban mom Nancy Botwin Parker embraces a new profession, the neighborhood pot dealer. As it seems like everyone secretly wants what she's selling, even City Councilman Doug Wilson Nealon. Nancy is faced with keeping her family life in check and her enterprise a secret from her neighbor, pseudo-friend, PTA President Celia Hodes Perkins.
Oh yes, Shiny Mary Louise Parker.
Genii Hunter Parrish.
Oh, Bruno's gone.
Oh, Naiji Alexander Gould.
Nizy Kevin Nealon.
Naiji Justin Kirk.
Shiny Elizabeth Perkins.
Oh yeah, sorry. Nijai Ali Grant.
And that is new.
Oh, we haven't done Nijai. Okay, so Nijai have Z as their offside power, and that will give a bracing quality that you will see in the cheeks. She is a Jai Mojo, so the Jai emoting will have an unaware quality and will go past the midline of the face. In this case, with her being a Nijai, it will go up to the brim line of the face, but no higher. But you will also see a cooling anvil quality in the cheeks as well.
Nizai Andy Milder. Coach.
Oh, Bruce Lau. Okay. Jivai Tanya Patano.
Naiji Romani Malko.
Naiji Damien Bircher. Or Bashir.
Yeah, Bashir.
Yeah.
Shiny Maulik Pankley.
Nijai Guillermo Diaz, and is Nijai male in it?
It is new.
Cool.
Oh.
So you can see that he's doing a kind of a he's doing a Jai like smile in the picture on the left. You can see the warm, unaware resonation go up to the brim line, as I mentioned. But also, if you look above the brim line, it'll be just essentially just pure me dancing with a touch of Vi concern in there.
The Office. A mockumentary on a group of typical office workers where the workday consists of ego clashes, inappropriate behavior, and tedium, based on the hit BBC series. A remake of the hit 2001 BBC TV series The Office. This is a mockumentary that documents the exploits of a paper supply company in Scranton, Pennsylvania, made up of head chief Michael Scott, a harmlessly deluded and ignorantly insensitive boss who cares about the welfare of his employees while trying to put his own spin on company policy, with an office including the likes of various peers who have their own hang-ups. The Office 2005 takes a look at the lives of its co-workers, bored but talented salesman Jim, his mildly sociopathic but kissing enemy Dwight, mildly righteous receptionist Pam, and indifferent temp Ryan.
Coach.
Hi, Steve Carell.
Naiji John Krasinski.
Nijai Jenna Fisher.
Nizy Rain Wilson.
Nizai Angela Kinsey.
Nijai Leslie David Baker.
Nizy Brian Baumgartner.
Nizy Phyllis Smith. Nizy ladies are first. See here, her Jai unaware mouth is pretty prominent on both pictures. You can see the poignancy. coming from her mouth area, and that unaware expression that she has, and so and also the energy is on the lower lip, so more concentrated on the lower lip than the upper lip. See that in both pictures, even though when she has a smile or when she's serious, or bemused, I guess. But it doesn't, since she's an IZ, it doesn't go above the midline of her face and into the eyes.
All right, Demas.
Nizy Kate Flannery.
Nizy Creed Bratton.
Junai Oscar Nunez.
Naiji BJ Novak. And Bruno's back.
Okay. So finish this processing. Thank you.
Nizai Mindy Kaling.
Nizai Ed Helms.
Heidi Paul Lieberstein.
Anijai Craig Robertson.
Nijai Ellie Kemper.
Oh, Ziny Zach Woods. Is Ziny male new?
It is.
I would
Okay.
suspect.
So, in both pictures, you can really see like the unflappability, like a motionless flappability throughout most of his face. It looks very cool, very solid, and very refined. But if you look very closely around the lip line, you can see a little bit of G emoting. He's not really smiling or doing like much with his G right now. He seems to be maintaining a very composed state. But you can see there's a little bit of energy there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Good.
Naiji Milora Harden.
Naiji lady is new.
All right. So with Naiji, you can see that on the picture on the right, you can see that her Nai is very much focused on. It's very well. She's drifting off, and even though she is kind of engaged, she's channeling quite a bit there, even though she's on the phone. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you noting
Yeah.
natural state channeling?
Yeah, natural state channeling. I'm kind of off of cues today.
Yeah, it gives this kind of like dreamy, detached look. Also a little. I think Naiji ladies use it to like give a smokiness, also like a come hither kind of look a lot of times, and the mouth open also suggested.
Nizy Andy Buckley.
Actually, go back up to him. Put him as pending. I have to check on him.
Maybe Nizai.
Yeah, in his eye.
I noticed he has like a wide face.
Yeah, I think I did update him actually. I just didn't do it here.
Oh, okay.
What's he?
I believe I've updated him in his eye.
What was he?
I call it an IZ, but I think it's an his eye actually.
Sounds good.
It's me.
Yes, it is.
Nizy Catherine Tate. She's fun.
Yes. Gina David Denman.
Nizai Rashida Jones.
Nizy James Spader.
California.
Nizy Robert R. Schaefer.
Jaime Hudane.
Nizai Jake Lacey.
Nijai Clark Duke.
Nijai Mark Prost. Demas.
Nizy Amy Ryan.
Nice David Koshner.
All right, we'll pause there, or maybe this last one. Last one. Let's go for it.
Ben, you're up.
Oh,
Ben?
yeah. A father recounts to his children through a series of flashbacks the journey he and his 4 best friends took leading up to him meeting their mother. The year is 2030. Ted Mosby is relaying the story of how he met his wife to his daughter and son. The story starts in the year 2005 when then 27-year-old architect Ted was spurred on to want to get married after his best friends from his college days at Wesleyan lawyer Marshall Erickson, who was his roommate at the time, and kindergarten teacher Lily Aldrin, got engaged after 9 years of dating each other. Ted's new quest in life was much to the dismay of his womanizing friend Barney Stinson. But soon after Marshall and Lily's engagement, Ted believed that his life mate was going to be news reporter and aspiring news anchor Robin Scherbatsky, who, despite having had a romantic relationship with her after this time, ended up being who the kids know as their Aunt Robin. As Ted relayed the story of his kids, the constants are that their Uncle Marshall, Aunt Lily, Uncle Barney, and Aunt Robin are always in the picture and thus have something to do with how he got together with their mother.
That's
a long story.
Nice Josh Radner.
Nice Jason Siegel.
Nice Kobe Smulders.
Nice Neil Patrick Harris.
Nice Allison Hannigan.
Actually,
Nizai.
Sorry, Allison.
we're on an IZ roll there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so we will start in the Colbert report next time.
All right.
Can you start her?
Start her.
Her. The small wing.
Yeah, our computer's being super glitchy.
Alrighty, so now we're on to Act 2, the intermediate portion, which is the quiz. Those samples come from Jilene. Take it away.
Sweet. Alright, start off with required. First one of the required is Nathan Sawaya, Lego brick artist and master model builder. What was your guess, Bruno?
Nizai.
Okay.
I said Naiji for him.
I said Nizai.
For Nathan Sawaya, sorry.
Uh-huh.
I said Naishi.
Naiji.
I went with Mizai, but I'm not sure on him.
Naishi.
Naishi, okay.
This quiz was tough.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
tough,
at
I
least.
know.
You picked some really difficult samples.
Eileen has a lot of very unique samples.
Yeah.
I know. I may have shut my own self out.
Very, very unique.
Good quiz, though.
Yeah. Okay, Benjamin Von Wong, a photographer. How'd you guess on him, Bruno?
Naiji.
Yeah, I said Naiji.
I said Naiji.
Naishi.
Naiji.
I said Shy.
Naishi.
Oh man, I know.
Get a water face, but
You did.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. Next one, Kuwait, singer and songwriter. What'd you guess for her, Bruno?
Nizai.
I said Nijai.
I said Vijay.
I said Jaini.
I said Jaini.
I can see that. I said Vijay.
she was tricky. But I believe she's Nijai.
Nijai.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
For me, she was tough on the V.
Yeah.
Vijay to Nijai, that was tough.
Yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of the one from Man Wild.
Yeah, that was it. This actually brings up a kind of a high-level thing, which is we've talked about different ethnic modifiers. And the Asian eyes, we've mentioned how they can be narrower in general, the lid quality. That's a two-dimensional plane, and that is true. And that usually can make it sometimes more challenging to tell the difference between subjective and objective. There's another one in the three-dimensional plane, which is that the lumps of the brow, the eye, the cheek, okay, in the Asiatic features, often they are flatter, some of them. Not always, but flatter. So they actually literally are that quality of being the glassy quality with a lens quality we might associate with V. Physically, look at my hand. This is like an eye. In a three-dimensional plane, it kind of bulbs out some. And the way it's set in a lot of the Asiatic features, sometimes it's actually set in. The eye is literally flatter, at least the way the bones line up. It's a sheer plane, and that might, I think, trigger the for me, like glassy. The flatterness of it, glassy, and that thus V. So that one I found quite challenging, but I do believe it's a knee that we're seeing. We'll take a look at that one.
I'd like to take a look at her, yeah. I was comparing her to Nisha, and I thought I was seeing more mouth.
Yeah.
Actually, as soon as we took a look at that video before it, I was like, oh crap, and I wanted to change my answer to Nijai. For some reason, just seeing her sing like changed everything.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it, though. She's very like innovative and.
I spun your side, Demas, because it actually happened to me as well, in that I actually looked at her 2 interviews, and I was still finding her challenging. I found that her performances, which usually it's the other way around, but her performances actually helped me see her mojo. Her interviews are a little more challenging as well.
Yeah. Had
Her
a
voice
pinch.
gets it. Yep.
Yeah. Ellen Stofan, chief scientist of NASA. How'd you read her, Bruno?
Xenai?
Yeah, I went with Xenai too.
I guess Xenai.
Xenai.
Xena.
I said Xenai as well.
She's Xenai.
Hey.
Okay, now on to optional land. First one is Jessica Cox, who's the world's first licensed armless pilot and first armless black belt in the American Taekwondo Association.
Hang on. What happened to Kaki King? Did we already have her in the
We
samples?
talked about it in the forums. Who was it? Glenn noticed that she was actually already part of the Rosetta Stone and had been read as Nijai. I just, for some reason, because I went through and checked for all of them to make sure they weren't in there, but maybe it was under a different spelling or something, and I didn't see her at first. But she's been read, essentially. Yeah, she's Nijai. So we took her off. Yeah. All right.
So Jessica Cox.
Yeah, so Jessica, how'd you guess on Jessica, Bruno? Bruno?
Oh, sorry. I guess Nijai.
Yeah,
I guess-
I wanted to say Nijai. I think she is Nijai, but I said Naiji.
My bad. I thought. Anyway, I guess Xenai.
I passed on her, actually.
I said Zvi.
Yeah, I could see those.
Couldn't get any confidence.
I believe she's Nijai, but just Demas, that was mine as
Yeah,
well.
that was
Nijai Zvi was the one that I was weighing for a while.
Good. Actually, I didn't read
It's
shit
no-
about the Zvi.
I mean, I really wish I could have seen gesturing on that one, but it is what it is. That would have helped.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Gesturing, right.
She did have a lot of knee, but I felt the cheeks looked
Yeah,
sheer.
she did have a lot of knee, like her knee, her eyes were constantly perking up. That was what really sold me on that one.
We get into the hard ones.
Yeah, Scott Neeson, a film executive turned philanthropist. How'd you guess on him, Bruno?
Naiji?
I said Vaiji.
I said Vaiji.
I also said Vaiji.
I said Naiji.
I was at Vaiji, but then I ended up going with Naizi. But
Vaiji.
oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there are some in there.
Yeah, I like he was really difficult for me at first, but then I got like a couple of Vaiji riffs.
Yeah, what do you call it? That one that I sent. What was his name? Sir John Haggerty, right? That-
Totally exactly what I thought of. And I guess Naiji that time, like, I'm not getting fooled. That's that.
Next one is Frank Medrano, a calisthenic bodyweight expert. How did you guess on him, Bruno?
Jivi?
Yeah, I wanted to say Jibai, but I said Naiji.
How'd you guess? Did you guess on this one, Ben?
Wait, which one were we on?
Frank Medrano.
Oh, Frank Medrano. Okay, I guess Naiji.
I guess Naiji as well.
Naiji.
I said Naiji.
He was hard.
Was he?
Oh man.
We haven't seen this before so far. He's a Vaiji.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
It's not
considering
subjective, but I
Yeah.
didn't consider Vaiji at all. That's interesting.
From pictures alone, I suspected maybe Vaiji, but I thought I guess Vaiji can do that too.
Yeah, we had just had it.
It's like a
Calisthenics bodyweight.
What happened that one was MMA. He ripped on several MMA fighters that are Vaiji.
that
Yeah,
felt
I
back
was
in
thinking
the
kind of an MMA thing.
Dean Potter, free climber, alpinist, base jumper, baseline, and highliner. How'd you guess on him, Bruno?
Naiji?
Yeah, Naiji.
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 Naiji it is.
Yay.
He's got like all this shiny baby energy.
Yeah. Last one of the samples is Guillaume Neri, the freediver. How'd you guess on him, Bruno?
Naiji?
I thought he was the same guy. I said Naiji.
I guess Naiji.
I actually said G9 for him.
Naiji.
I said Naiji.
It's Naiji.
Alright then.
Naiji.
I think I started to look at them here.
Yeah. Starting off with the Waya, because several said Nizai, and
He had a lot of smart Nathan too.
so those of you who read him as Naiji, read him correctly.
Sorry, who's this?
Nathan Sawaya, the Legos modeler.
Gotcha.
Right, yeah.
I should know.
Yeah, I think some people were maybe thinking about that one airplane dude.
I actually thought of him too, but like, this guy seemed, I don't know, different.
Yeah, he seemed different. Yeah, me too. His face was definitely not as wide. You could tell that it was narrower, and it made me naturally think subjective.
Glenn,
More
you
easy.
need the link for the video today? You need the links to the videos?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'll have to open up the thing here.
Are you good with just the doing that on the app, or would you like the link? I can do it.
Hold on, I'll let me see if I can go to the site here, and I'll open some links for you guys.
All
So
right.
we're doing Scott, okay.
Nathan Sawaya.
Oh, Nathan Sawaya, okay.
Are you able to see this?
Really worked out at Lego bricks. I think Lego is fun as a toy. We've all played with it and built cars and trucks. But when you start
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
into the contemporary art world, I wanted to focus
Yeah,
on
see his eyes. He
and
does a
that
lot of
was the
perk
healing
ups,
form.
but yeah, then
Because not only
not
was it
looking-
Yeah,
sculpted like that, it also
it just seems like more of like artistic sort of energy to me than the Nizai guy had.
I thought maybe the playfulness,
I go
you know, like a
millions.
play
Yeah,
doing with
of course.
Legos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Studios. More purely
Yeah, it seems more like it would be something like the activity or something.
one in Los
Mhm.
Angeles.
Yeah.
And they are
But you can definitely see there's a lot of poise. He's got a lot of wizard
Absolutely.
gesturing going on.
where all the bricks are
Yeah.
solid, color.
And
I need that because when I'm working, I want to be able to brand
yeah,
it.
I mean, there's so many cues. He kind
was
of
like,
rips of somebody.
the smile
Of
that
course, it all
hitched
starts
on
with an
one
idea,
side.
And that's what the
Like,
main thing is. Once I come up with that
here.
idea, whatever it is,
Yeah.
sketching, that's an important
These just have
component.
have
And I actually carry a
percussiveness to it.
sketchbook
They're
with me wherever I
small,
go,
but they're percussive.
so I can jot down
Mitchell, don't his like
I was actually thinking.
kind of riff off of like Brian Kibler a little bit?
Exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah,
In all
like
seriousness,
I'm looking at him, I'm like,
my mind. I was gonna say that.
because I guess Nizai and Brian Kibler, because his cheeks were just like, you know, they look like this guy's. They're kind of
Brian
like,
Kibler. That's exactly what I use.
yeah.
Oh man, that's good. Actually, I didn't make that connection, but that's totally makes sense.
Like, yeah,
I was just watching Brian Kibler earlier today.
yeah.
No, I'm drawing this out by hand. Oh, okay. Now, when I get into the actual sculpting, there are times where I need to glue
So much of Brian Kibler.
because over time I've learned that when you're shipping Lego sculptures around the world, they need to arrive in one piece. It's funny, museums get grumpy when they open up a crate and it's just loose Lego bricks. Right, and a sign that says some assembly required. You don't include an instruction manual. So I've learned the hard way that I have to glue everything together. So while I'm
like the
His,
wizard
his
gesture.
mouth reminds me a lot of the politician Paul Ryan, who's a Vaiji.
there, you should bring
Um,
I studied in these guys for that, but
back to a certain
yeah, he's got like a
Just
Jez,
the shape.
Jez Hunter kind of mouth, like.
yeah.
Well, the hammer and chisel.
Not quite as like
I've been working on
like Vaiji have like a certain kind of quality to their mouth that's a little bit more like tense because of the yangness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally see
power with the
the
work
connection.
and go back. So you need a lot of patience for this job.
Tight is
Right. There's a Vine mouth purse that Paul Ryan does that he doesn't do. It's similar though.
Yeah.
You don't have a
Yeah, I mean they share a lot of the same qualia because it's they're both Jez Hunters and
what to do is
Yeah.
a lot of the patterns in the mouth are going to be very similar looking.
crating, the shipping. But when it comes to the art, that's me. That's these hands. I'm sure there's a question you get asked a lot, but where do you get the Lego from?
He's also similar in a Nye Alpha way to like Brent Spiner.
Very good business relationship.
Kind of has a similar look physically. He has the Nye Alpha part of it.
Long face.
Yeah.
Go look
The
up
cheeks, obviously, they're not.
You're gonna get a fitting image.
Yeah, it's something like that. I usually get a few thousand bricks every month.
How did
How did that fall down? He was like, that's just for the video.
I think so. You're just how that all
Well,
comes
the wrists
together.
here, right here, they have the more refined but tension quality of a hunter compared to a gatherer. Gatherers' wrists tend to be often a little more substantial from wrist to hand, but looser, more substantial. Where his were finer but more tensed. And also, you guys mentioned the gesturing, wizardly, low viscosity. And he does jut. It's a little bit like this. He doesn't jut very big, but it's quick with the percussiveness to it.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. I think it's like drawing a sphere.
Also, see that little thing there? Ah, yes. Okay, that was him steering. He was steering the person he's talking to.
That's what's important. So during the exam, what happened was they gave me a pile of bricks and 45 minutes and said, build.
His eyes also look very hooded, very cunning.
Shut my sphere.
Yeah, the way he's done, he's kind of like teaching as he's doing this. He teaches naturally as he talks.
That's very true, yes. Let me tell you about this thing that I know that no one else does, and yada yada yada.
I see something the Jez Hunter thing, because most Jez Hunters, it's actually kind of hard for them to talk and not sort of teach as they talk.
Yeah.
Cool, we're good on this one, or do you want to see another video?
Are the sculptures
good.
hollow or
That was one of the
solid?
ones.
And they're actually
Okay, then let's try another one that was
See
challenging.
into the chest cavity there. It's hollow, and that's how it is.
How about
with all
Kuwait?
sculptures.
Because several people read her
I
as
would like to.
Nizai, also Jaini, also
I think someone got
Nizai.
Glenn,
Glenn,
I think I got her, yeah.
yeah.
She, for me, I'm looking at pictures, she reminded me of Summer Glau. I've been recently watching some Arrow, and so I saw some of her, and she reminded me like a smaller.
You're right, Glenn, that's a good rip, because Summer Glau, while she's not Asian, she does have those cheeks where the cheek and the eyebrow bone, they're kind of smooth together, the plane.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Kind of flat, a flat plane.
Totally, yeah. It's one of the connections I was able to make because.
Sorry. Go ahead, Glenn. You were saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That was.
Well, from Hawaii to Los Angeles to Kansas. It's
See her
a
voice.
little
That's what
better
threw me off
than
because it
Hawaii to
really
Kansas.
sounded like Joanna.
Yeah, I always
But
feel
yeah,
like,
I
that's
do
what
see
everybody, like
her
every
bobble.
island person wants to
She's
move
bobbling.
to a landlocked place with no water at all. I always joke about that, but no, I mean,
She's
my
twitchy.
husband and I, we found,
Yeah.
after living in Los Angeles, he's from there, and I lived there for like 10 years and hated it, ready to get out, felt like punching a lot of people in the face,
Mhm.
no joke. And instead of getting arrested, he said, I think we should move, but, I was thinking like more Seattle, like Portland area, but then he found this studio, and I was like, let's just do it. So I didn't see it until like we literally showed up with the U-Haul, and that was like the first time I ever
Because he moved to Kansas.
saw the place that we bought this kindly.
Yeah, she's got a lot of bobble and everything. I was actually going back and forth between Nijez, but
For South by.
I was comparing her to like Bjork.
Like
But it
just
didn't make
that.
sense because Bjork also obviously is an IG and she has poise to her. She has more of like a hunterish quality. In comparison, with her,
Beverage.
I felt like she was a lot more. There was a lot more bobbly quality. It seemed a lot more natural, a lot more knee. I was noticing.
And I was
She's
like,
got that downturned mouth as well.
to do because I do a lot
I think
of.
the one that for a lot of people was challenging, I know for me, was
Vijay
Vijay to
Yeah.
Vijay.
Yeah, Vija is supposed to too.
She doesn't traditionally like
Little
scrunch
thinner.
them up. A little thinner, and she does more straight hand. Typically, she doesn't like close them.
Right, as
A lot
much.
of claw movements.
That got to me at that time. And, I mean, it was literally.
But I mean, that would be
just, like,
that would take her out of gather.
camera and mistakes and all.
But
just
she
do
definitely
it,
has that
I can't believe
that Jez Gather
you know,
movement,
reacted to it
like
that way,
quick.
but you know, I mean,
I guess for me it threw me off in general, like
Oh,
that.
just in general?
Yeah,
But what
so
makes
I
you
couldn't.
For me, that her eye structure made me think about V.
Yeah, it was the eye structure. It looked a little, made it look
But,
a
you
little
know,
clearer.
Yeah.
To me, it looked clearer.
Flatter.
Flatter.
it's good.
And the voice. The voice,
voice is
I
hard, too.
mistook that by pinch for
It's
like
weird.
some sort of
I mean, literally, you know,
I can see how you guys would think of Vijay. It's interesting hearing different people's perspectives.
that was really strange just
Yeah.
to kind of experience that. Because I mean, the video thing I had been, you know, it's a fairly new thing, but I've been at it for
Her movements,
a while.
they're a little. The bobble
No,
is a little
never
twitchier
was
than the shimmy of V.
Getting it big.
So she moves.
Right.
It's
So
it's
when
it's
that
buoyant. I
happens,
mean, it's
we are-
lightened up, but it has a little off rhythm to it.
Because I didn't plan for a lot of
Yeah.
In the other video, she's sitting down. She kind of like scrunches over into the side of it a lot, in like a nervous
And
way.
is the interviewer Vijay in that one?
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is, because you could see I should have gone just with the instinctual difference that I saw in both of them, and even in the way they were
playing out.
communicating.
Pretty much, you know,
Yeah.
what I have been doing, but you know, times 100 now. It's definitely larger on a larger scale than I'm used to. But you know, I'm happy just slowly, you know, pounding the rock and getting there because
You
really, like,
take a look
all I wanna
at that
do
video.
is
I think this video we
making music.
repeating a bit.
Yeah, that one would be good to watch too. We can see the comparison between Vijay and Nijay, so it'll help you guys out a lot.
Yeah.
Also has her total body language more.
Welcome back. I hope you
She,
enjoyed the
for context, this is a Vijay.
Beatboxing and singing, strong melodies. How did you feel about that performance?
I felt.
I was really surprised. I mean, you beat
There's also a lot of subtle things that just made me think Nijay. I don't know how to describe them exactly. It's just I've seen a lot of maneuvers like the way
Yeah.
that she's doing.
The way she's sitting in a chair, for some
Yeah,
reason,
yeah.
stood out to me.
The way she's sitting right there in the park, that sort of makes me think Nijay too. Like there's something about the way that she's, I don't know.
She overall has more of a slouchy posture when you compare the knee alpha to the V alpha counterparts. They're both up, but there's more like an up with a little more posture with the V alpha as compared to knee alphas. Knee alphas tend to be a little more rounded in their body, a little more casual in their carriage.
Yeah, a little bit more yin.
As long as I can do it, unlike Britney Spears. No, she doesn't beatbox, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a song that doesn't, a Britney
And
song,
her eyes look a little bit more dreamy too.
very un-Britney.
Not as
Oh, this is kind of
not as like hazy, or I don't know how to describe it like for the Vijay.
Get out of here, you're so good.
I mean, how did you practice?
Yeah, they're enjoying each other. The humor is actually a slightly different wavelength.
Yeah, it is.
It looks funny.
I think they're enjoying each other's energy.
Mhm.
Well, one thing,
Yeah, I found this interview to be quite nice.
Yeah, I think I'm really seeing the permeability of the knee
Yeah.
a lot more.
takes a lot of breath, right? So like when you're doing a beat,
That was impressive.
so while you're doing the sound, you're like breathing in at the same time.
The way she clamped back after it, Nijay will sometimes put an idea out. So I do this thing. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I like it. I see that gesture a lot. And also this thing where they kind of like do their hands like this. The gatherers has this more tacitly hand thing, but they sometimes do this thing where they are nervous. Lady Gaga does a lot, where her hands kind of make this like little claw-like thing, where she like laughs at her own joke.
Yeah, she goes the monster.
Record,
Monster.
Yeah, I think she does something like that at the very end of the other video. She kind of like ends it off in this very Nijay kind of a way. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just got tired of that. So one of my incentives for Kickstarter pledges was that I write a song about anything you want. So this last time I got really, really cool topics.
Describe your music.
It changes, definitely changes from record to record.
Are we good on her? What do you guys think?
You know, whatever's
Yeah.
inspiring me at the time.
Okay, I think we got one or two others that would be good to look at.
Yeah, Meldrano for sure.
Yeah.
Or Medrano, sorry.
Oh yeah, that was when we got him. He was tricky. I think if you guys look at Vaiji now, you'll see it. I think you just probably didn't think to put the lens up on that one.
Yeah, I was thinking like I was considering like live Vaiji like in the very distant. I was like, I don't know, I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it might be possible, but yeah. I want to like look at his case just a little bit, just to
Sure.
solidify it, I guess.
His voice helped me a lot.
Yeah, I knew there was something hunterish about him though. That
If
was
someone else load it into YouTube, we're having some computer issues with the keyboard. Someone else type it in and put it up. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Insane. Nothing happened. Is somebody loading it up?
Yeah, let me see if I can do this here.
Thank you. Wait. All right, so Coach, go ahead and take lead on
We're
this
here
one.
with the awesome Frank Madrano. Good morning, Frank. How are you doing?
Okay. First of all, wasn't noticing the other time because I was moving fast, but I think the dude interviewing maybe Vaiji too. So first of all, that guy's voice you just heard, I think you're going to hear a similar thing when Frank answers, like, you heard the Vi?
Germany. Frank, how do you find the people so far?
It's great. It's a lot of energy.
Okay, so first of all, I think a lot of you guys guessed Naiji for the obvious reason that he's channeling easily, doesn't like to look directly at the person very much, and has a just kind of like the very poised quality, the hunter thing. But then the other ones we're probably noticing with the Jiva is the eyes, they're pinched, and the voice has a heavy drone. But if you actually look at the heaviness of the drone, the voice, and the pinch in the eyes, it's actually source level. So as far as distinguishing between Naiji, I kind of mentioned that. For the Vi Z, with the Ji Vi, is his neck. His neck, his wrists, all the connective joints, you'll notice that they have the hunter lines. As compared to what we see often in this field, the Ji Vi. The Ji Vi is going to have similar, but they will not have as elongated of a face. The eyes will not be as piercing, and the neck, the hunter hunch, that's another one. He has a hunter hunch most of the time as well, and the tapering in the joints, you see more of a subjective mojo. But once I actually saw Vaiji, I think it's not actually that hard to see.
Demonstration of the sports that he's been doing now, calisthenics.
That drone, for example, looks like Naiji. That drone is pretty heavy.
I first started doing calisthenics maybe about 4 years ago.
He sounds like a lot of
trying to better my body,
MMA fighters doing interviews.
trying to feel better. I started doing research on bodyweight exercises.
Doesn't like getting a lot of eye contact for those
From
things in
there, I
GVI.
started, coming up with some programs for myself. I saw videos on YouTube where people doing more advanced
He
stuff.
also has a pallor to him too.
He does, and that tightness.
Check them and do
A little
Yeah, I was wondering about that tightness.
If somebody were to ask you what kind of advantages does calisthenics
His
have,
eyes also look.
what'd you say?
I say the advantages
Well,
of calisthenics is that
He doesn't. His eyes are always, you know.
He's got a lot of knee there,
muscle fiber in your
Yeah.
whole
but
body.
it's kind of. It looks altered.
I thought Naiji.
Deep, muscle tissue.
But you hear that drone now?
It's really
Yeah.
functional and able for you to
Yeah.
use in
So
everyday
his
life.
eyes don't have that
So the
dreaminess
advantage of
that
that is
I.
every training that you
Alpha
do
would.
with body
Coach, who in MMA did he remind you of?
yeah, everyday life and
Cajun,
Awesome. What'd you say?
Kajan.
Yeah, everyone can do calisthenics.
He's
There's,
one.
There's many levels of calisthenics.
He also reminded me a little of Miguel Torres.
Absolute beginner. There's intermediate, more advanced. So there's levels of
I might have one more if I can
bodyweight
think of
training
it.
for everybody, male or female.
What type of equipment does the calisthenics require?
Well, the beauty of bodyweight training calisthenics is you don't need any equipment. Your body is your own
Did
gym.
you find Cajun?
Yeah, Cajun for sure.
You can work out at the park.
Yeah.
Or
I can
Actually,
see
Miguel
Miguel
Torres.
too,
I can see
in
Miguel
terms
Torres,
of game
too.
style a little bit.
your own body. If it comes to the point where you get really strong, you could add weight. You could put, you can
Isn't
add
Shing?
weight vests,
He's a hunter.
you could
He's
add
like,
resistance.
I mean, I'm sure other hunters it's not unique to him, but he's a vegan. And he
build an amazing physique.
Are there
advocates
any
that.
type of leagues or competition competitions, anything that sanctions this
Interesting
type
that,
of sport.
I mean, you should be showing that.
At
like,
this time,
people
it's
that
kind of
are
early,
Olympic
but
can
there
be,
are actually
you know,
sanctions
sure.
calisthenics competition.
level.
Most of them are in Europe. The World Federation of Calisthenics is one of them, and
He almost never
World
gives
Cup in Russia,
eye contact to the guy.
and I believe in Germany.
But it's funny. I think they're both IG.
Some in the United States as well, in New York, and Los Angeles. So it's fairly new, and it's.
You want to look at another interview?
Yeah, might be helpful.
You can check it out. So I mean, it's at an early.
He does some pretty incredible things.
He does. But notice the tapering of the wrists and the neck, despite the other musculature.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, the tapering is definitely one of the big cues. It's how I was able to see that because his neck was very, very slim and his face is very slim. And then that made me think subjective, naturally.
What's up, everyone? I'm Dennis from Baristi, and we're here in Long Beach, California, with Frank Medrano, one of my personal biggest inspirations. And so I'm really happy that I had the chance to meet him, work out with him, and finally also the chance to have this interview. So, Frank, I'm sure that a lot of people know you already, but for those who don't, just introduce yourself.
Not sure I'm trying to tell myself.
Where you're from.
Definitely, I'm getting der sense from him.
yeah.
Once again, my name is Frank Medrano. I live in
He might be G though.
Los
I
Angeles,
mean,
California.
he might be looks a little more pilot face.
Pretty much the way I got started is
Well, I'll read him later, but der sense for sure.
watching Jeff, Kit Richards, and Hannibal. Just watching a video pretty much got me hooked and wanted to emulate the moves and learn calisthenics and get my body to be as strong and functional like they were displaying on video. That's pretty much how I got started with calisthenics.
Okay, so you would name these three as like your inspirations?
Those were my main inspirations when I first started.
Yes, still
Jeff,
easy 1,000-yard stare.
Kit Richards, and Hannibal were the ones that I saw.
He's got also the
Give me that inspiration to want
the
to do.
deeper set eyes, kind of physiological cue by as well.
How did you start? You were weight training before?
Color
Heavier.
I was just weight training.
Heavier, yeah. There's something prepared, I guess.
Compared to an eye.
That's just how I started, but once again, once I saw the videos, I started to incorporate more
Quite interesting.
stuff, more of the push-ups, more of the pull-ups, dips. I couldn't muscle up for a while, but that's what I started with: the pull-ups, push-ups, dips, crunches, planks, squats, lunges, just all the simple basics of body weight.
But he's a good example because talking about the Naiji, because he has a good game, but the eyes, the power, the tenseness in the lip.
Would you just try them and see how
Yeah, tightness too.
Yeah.
team that you were following?
Are we good in that?
I feel better about him.
I think most people got this one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Who else?
No, actually, I think Scott Neeson was tough.
Was Scott Neeson? How many people got him as Vaiji? Scott Neeson.
I got him right.
Scott Neeson, I got him too, yeah.
Me
And
too.
Glenn. What did you guys that didn't get him as Vaiji? What did you guess?
Naiji.
Vaiji. What'd you say, Mitchell?
Faichi.
Okay, so you got him right also. What did you say?
I already said that.
Or Scott Neeson?
Me?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I said Naiji.
Okay,
so
so
half.
about half.
Take a look at him. Another good case of trying to tell apart Nye from Vi. Yeah, telling apart Nye from Vi and also Knee from V. It's one of those things that a lot of times it's one of the easy things that just pops out. When it's challenging, it's very challenging, I find, because the art's so similar.
Moving on now, and our next guest was one of the most powerful people in Hollywood, but he gave it all away for the chance to help some of the world's poorest children.
This guy's mouth reminded me a lot of Gary Busey.
Yeah, Gary Busey.
Very top
Yep.
of 20th Century Fox International.
Yeah.
He was living the dream, hanging with celebrities and driving fast cars, while overseeing the release of blockbusters like Independence Day, Braveheart, and Titanic.
I was actually considering Naiji, and I was even considering the Jaini as well, because his mouth seemed very
changed
Yeah,
his life.
Ugly shape, yeah.
Downward.
Just outside
Yeah,
the
yeah. I thought maybe Nai like because of that. 'Cause, like,
Yeah, that's why I guessed nice Z on him. Yeah.
When he returned to Hollywood.
Oh, you said nice Z for him. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I did. I was between Vaiji, nice Z.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his
One
eyes.
of the
They look
things-
very tight, very like pinched.
Yeah. One of the things I saw though was that his emoting was definitely going
Very,
past his
very
neck.
like kind of staunch, like kind of waxy, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also consider Shiny for him.
460.
Totally. He's got some yinness to him, right? Yeah. In his
Yeah.
body, I guess.
10 years ago, Scott Neeson lived next door to
His eyes were too
Today, he lives
cunning, or not cunning, too country.
Please welcome Scott Neeson.
Mitchell, what did you see?
He said Faishi.
Right. All right. Can you say some of the stuff you were seeing? Because you got this right also.
Yeah.
Story, but you know, a lot of people travel to Southeast Asia, see,
What helped you get to?
come home and they don't. Maybe don't know.
Well, as I mentioned already, I used that one sample that you put forward a little while ago. I don't remember his name.
Sir John Haggerty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was one layer. He's in like a creative sort of field or something that maybe Naiji do more often, but maybe. I guess I'm not really sure. I guess he's a film executive. He's not like a director. As far as I know, I guess it's a little different. But anyway, I was certainly like when I first just kind of heard a story, I was probably moved in the direction of Naiji more. But then when I actually looked at him, it didn't really look like Nai. He has that tightness and pallor to his face that just stood out to me right away. And his eyes don't look like the kind of looking off into infinity that Nai has. They look very on point.
It's interesting for him because he doesn't. He actually has more of like I don't know what to call it because we said like hypno swivel for Naiji. He has some like sinewyiness or some sort of like, especially when he gets going. I don't know what we would call that.
Well, all the mojos can actually have a tsunami, a swivel its own way, but the two Jez hunters are going to kind of hypnotize their prey. I mean, they will share that. But they don't do it with a broken rhythm. You can actually have a non-broken rhythm and do the where they hypnotize him. Because he's not slinky.
Yeah, he did not have a slinky like or broken rhythm voice at all. It's just like this very kind of careful concern sort of to his voice.
Definitely, but he does actually have that. He kind of like moves charismatically, and he kind of like gets in your head and kind of like holds your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very much noticing a lot of knee in the way that he would move. It's very interesting. It's the way that knee looks like when it's kind of like in the joints and when they use it to like.
And he said to me,
it gives off a certain kind of quality, like bobble, I guess you could say, but obviously it's going to be polar for him.
Yes, true. Kind of like the undulations that go into the stimulus register. The Bi Mojos, they actually get bobbly on those. Whereas Nai Mojos, when they kind of like get in scrambling mode, they go V. They get crisper, more kind of animal-like in those moments. So it's interesting. They go from dreamy to animal, and here they kind of go from like on point to kind of like
this person or like
yeah,
scramble. Scramble mode.
Yeah, scramble. It has that kind of a bit more of an actual mental quality to it as neat compared to V. And the joints aren't quite as they get kind of like scrambly, but it's more like quick thinking scrambling as compared to V tends to be more quick moving.
right now. And it's working better now.
Yeah, because they actually get when they get over to the modulation side, they actually get a little more wobbly in the joints. Whereas Nai, Alpha in comparison are a little more. The slinky it has more wobble to it than Vi plays naturally. But when they kind of turn on their adaptive power, V, they get crisper, more present. Okay, are you good on him? Oh, who else got him right?
Besides Mitchell, Glenn, and I.
Oh, Ben, did you put forward anything?
Wait, what?
What helps you see he was Vaiji?
Oh yeah, I talked about.
Okay, cool. I just make sure everyone got a chance because it's really good content for people. You kind of see how people who did successfully made that trek. Okay.
You can check out another video too if you guys want to. I sent it in the link.
Okay, do that real quick, just a minute or two, and then we'll move on to live read.
It was a great night because 2003, I had 10 years of
Here you can see a lot of body language coming from him. A lot of gesturing, lots. You can see his full body, even though it is a presentation. Yeah, there's something about the way he holds himself. It's got a lot of vibe, poise to it, but it's got some knee there as well.
Yeah.
More loose. Got a little more looseness.
I had a motor yacht, a nice
The way he sort of like scrunches his hands made me kind of go away from Shiny a little bit too.
I actually gave to charity. And the reasons why I think are fairly stereotypical, especially in retrospect.
Yeah, I mean, he has a very interesting journey for someone who's, for a Vaigi, like, to turn away from.
There are some of those very kind of like progressive, big business people. Very good knee.
Yeah. But for someone to like totally give away all their material
that's quite
possessions into charity, that's something that you, I mean, at least stereotypical.
I kind of used I don't know what his name is, the host from like America's Funniest Home Videos to help me with him. And also Jerry Springer a little bit. I think those are both Vaigi who have good knee. They don't have like strong physical wrists or anything, but energetically, they helped out.
He falls into the few like Vi Alpha that are like the Warren Buffetts of the world.
Are we good in that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can do some. Yeah.
Cool. Let's go on to Act 3, the advanced portion, the live read. And we have a sample from Dire Magpie, who is
Gunner.
Good luck.
Okay, I'm going to take advantage of the keyboard cooperating to type it in. Alright, okay, I see several.
The old sample. From the old days.
Asian?
It's an older, yeah, he does have.
He has video. He does have video.
Alright, this might be in German.
Oh, goodness, sorry, I want to make this hard.
We're going to Germany.
Going in the time machine.
Oh, school.
This might
It's low-quality footage too.
Okay, let me see if this footage is.
We might have done the sample. Very challenging.
Oh, that's a little better.
That's better.
This is bad. You can see it.
Okay, it's pretty stiff. We'll see.
Well, that would just make
let me see if I can read them.
Okay.
What's his occupation again?
It looks like a psychologist or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It reminds me of Prince Charles of England.
He's a soldier. He's a highly decorated German soldier and author who became famous for his World War memoir, Storm of Steel.
I believe I had this guy.
Soldier writer.
No.
He doesn't move a whole lot.
No.
Does he write?
His wrists, when he did move his hands, seemed to have tenseness, like it didn't collapse.
Yeah,
They also look a bit long.
Sorry.
What were you saying?
They also look a bit long.
Yeah, they do long.
Yeah, I'm mainly considering directive for him, leaning a little bit more towards subjective.
Yeah, his eyes have a faraway sort of quality.
Yeah.
I see. I'm gonna look at pictures of him also just to see if they have something like younger.
A memoir he did. Sounds like.
I pasted a picture of Prince Charles of England, who's a Vaigi. Looks like the same mojo to me.
Possibly, yeah. I'm considering very strongly the Vi Alpha for him.
I mean, he doesn't look like Prince Charles younger though, and the pictures that I'm looking at seeing of him. I mean, although he does have a refined sort of look.
Yeah.
Wait, you said they doesn't look like Prince Charles when he's here?
Yeah, I'm thinking don't discount YZ just yet, though.
Yeah,
He's also reminding me a little bit of Dick Cheney.
Of who?
Dick Cheney.
Yeah, like George Bush, Dick Cheney.
Was read as Vijay.
Could be, yeah.
Although his smiles like have an awareness to them. Let me just copy an image, a specific image that I'm looking at right now.
Let's check it out.
Where it cooperates. Oh, that one. So you feel like a smirk.
I can't see this one here.
No? Okay. Well, let's load another interview up here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, kind of that side smirk, and it seems to be
Liegt
going into the cheeks.
zurückgezogen, zeigt sich selten, wirkt sie gelassen.
Alright.
Hat seinen elitären Standpunkt, mit dem
Ja,
in den
that walk
20er Jahren
seems-
Einzug in Politik und Geistesgeschichte hielt,
Good amount
bis
of
heute
tension
nicht
there.
aufgegeben.
Und es ist ja auch möglich, dass er von seinem Standpunkt aus recht hat. Da könnte ich ja mit einem französischen Moralisten erwidern, meine Rüstung ist ganz aus Fehlern gewebt. Neulich hat auch einer...
Does he have that thing with the
cheeks or
mouth
not?
Phi Alpha have? Because you can see the side of his mouth right now.
Für mich aber sehr wichtig. Wäre ich nämlich eingestiegen in eine
Oh,
spezielle
but
It's
Wissenschaft...
usually right around the edges where you notice it, where you, like.
I see Zai in the side of the mouth, but I
No,
don't.
I'm talking about the Vi versus Nai thing, like where Vi will have kind of more consistent look with the at the edges of the mouth when he articulates.
Interesting. I don't see that pallor, or maybe that is pallor.
Ernst Jünger.
Yeah, wait, what do you say, John?
I don't know that I necessarily see Vi pallor.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
Ebner,
Okay.
Eine vom Tourismus noch nicht
Yeah, I'm
bekannte
still looking at it.
Länder, in denen die alten von ihm so geschätzten
Personally, I feel like I'm seeing like a worried look in his eyes, like a
einfach sein Jäger.
sort of reminds me of Vi, but I can't say for certain, of course.
I don't know. His eyes have
Zeigt es
more
über 80-Jährigen
dreamy
hinaus.
quality.
Was als junger Mensch schon so
Looking
tut,
at
verwirklicht immer noch. Ein Leben aus eigener Kraft,
I think I'm seeing more
ungewarnten Wegen.
human.
Der Augenblick, dem jeder Fischer entgegenfliegt.
Gelbe Schwanzflosse vor allem, Tagebücher habe ich ja nur in gefährlichen Zeiten geführt. Also während des Ersten Weltkrieges.
I think.
Da hatte ich gerade ständig.
But like a John McCain, right? Because that would be like also a soldier, and he's has those hooded eyes. Let me see what he looks like.
Da war ich 18, 19.
Is McCain a Vi, Z?
Yes.
Okay.
Eine ziemlich schwere Verwundung. Und meine
They're certainly represented a lot in military.
die Krankenträger weggeführt.
Certainly.
Einmal fiel mir ein, mein Tagebuch. Da bin ich noch zurückgegangen und habe von
Sounds a bit drony.
als ich geschossen wurde, habe ich es wiedergeholt.
So it has an easy time articulating.
Yeah.
Monologuing,
Yeah, monologuing.
Und als ich dann 70 wurde, da dachte ich, naja, kommen also von alten Freunden doch immer
yeah. He seems very poised too.
eine gefährliche Zeit, da könnte man ja wieder anfangen. Da hatten auch schon 12 Jahre gedauert.
See what you're saying about Charles.
Der Auswertungsprozess. Naja, ich hatte mal gesagt, das ist ungefähr so, wie wenn ich Tee habe, nicht wahr?
Does his mouth look aware or unaware?
Bei Notizen, die man sich macht. Und die Auswertung, da gieße ich dann das heiße Wasser drauf, dann wird die Sache genießbar. Und ich kann ja auch nicht den ganzen Tag mit Tagebuch schreiben. Ich lebe ja, um zu genießen und nicht um Tagebuch zu führen.
Anyone else? Demas, Ben, Bruno, anything you guys think you're seeing, or even just
I thought in the
just people kind of watching what you guys are doing. If you maybe just even say what's on your mind, it could be anything at all, but that might be helpful for them.
I thought in the last interview I saw kind of like a neat twinkling to his eyes that I've seen some Baiji have.
Afrika war der Kontinent, der Jüngers Abenteuerlust zuerst weckte.
That's a big
Das fragt man sich
smile.
jeder aus Ernst Jünger
Yeah,
geworden.
I'm trying to avoid going too much into like details because I'm not quite up on that yet. Like I need to do a lot more collaging. But just riffing. So I'm trying to stick to riffing for myself, even if it's just a partial riff. The eyes are definitely riffing me of Prince Charles, who's a Vaigi. I'm not sure on the mouth, but the eyes are definitely giving me a Vi Alpha look. I'm not.
Yeah,
I really
leaning
can't
that
get
way
down the mouth
myself.
though.
Sure.
Als freiwilliger Individuum.
It looks like we're at the end of this evening. Let me pull another
I'm curious, Demas, how about yourself? Is there anything that you're kind of just weighing or thinking about?
Well, I'm on the Vi Alpha train myself, but the way
Is there what anything that makes you think that? I don't give the answer. I'm just curious. I'm trying to pull out stuff for the viewers because what's on your guys' mind is. Really
okay. I feel like it's stuff I already said, but like I think I'm hearing a droniness in the voice. He does look a bit pinched. There's a certain way that when he kind of laughs to himself and smiles to himself, it reminds me of when George Bush laughs to himself. So I'm wondering if that's resonating.
Cool. Thank you.
Maybe Mitchell too. Or did you already say stuff?
Yeah.
I think I wrote there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Doing to get different kind of points of view, you guys doing it. You all agree well and come out from slightly different ways.
Okay. So we don't have a lot more to work with, so I'll just load this one up, even though it's a little darker footage.
You can still see like gesturing, but yeah.
Yeah, I do get like a slight connection to like a wizard type, a Jez Hunter wizard type of gesturing and smiling. But I'm not so sure about that. Oh wait, okay, so who am I thinking of?
Habe im Lauf der Jahre immerhin erreicht, dass sie den Kopf nicht einziehen, wenn ich sie auf.
Okay, so this is I think maybe somebody who he reminds me of. This is Charlie Watts, the drummer for the Rolling Stones. He's a Nijai, which would be a VZ shade. So I just wanted to sort of investigate the mouth comparison.
Schwimmen, rudern, fliegen, nicken, als Tätigkeiten über die Schöpfung in die
His
unbelebte
face still looks longer and leaner. More like I typically see with a hunter, may not be.
I'm also seeing that with the sample that you sent out. He looks like the moding goes higher.
Steigen in die Natur und ihre Organismen hinaus.
The emoting goes higher in who?
The one that Bruno sent, the
right.
Charlie Watts. Yeah.
More apt.
But I'm not sure about that. It might still be going up to the brim line for characters as well. I'm still kind of going back and forth between both Vi Alpha.
I think Bruno is making a point about shades of consciousness, not necessarily that he's a Nijai.
No, yeah, absolutely. I'm fairly certain on the Vi Alpha thing. But if he were a Vi Z, then we would expect him to be a shade of Charlie Watts. If he were a Vi Z.
Das Naturrecht dem positiven Recht vorausgeht und es übergreift so die Verehrung, die Religionen, die von...
But really, the vibe I was getting was more of a Jez, like a Jez Hunter wizard type vibe from this guy.
What do you mean by wizard? Because wizard's a word that's reserved for Ni Alpha.
Oh, okay, sorry. Then I meant more like conductor, I guess. Jez conductor, Jez Hunter conductor.
Okay.
Im Mittelpunkt des jüngischen Werkes
Yeah,
steht.
conductor-like gestures.
Bei den Stahlgewittern seit mehr als 7 Jahren begleitet er auch.
Da ist vielleicht noch besser eingefangen ist.
Fürs der nicht auf Reisen ist.
Sitzt man und hat Post. Post wird immer mehr, immer umfangreicher. Ich bekomme übrigens aus Frankreich mindestens ebenso viele Briefe.
The emoting doesn't look like it's going up a lot for him.
Ich esse nichts zum Mittag.
He hardly ever does any kind of emoting.
There, when he does do a little smirk,
Yeah.
that's interesting because I do see like.
There's I'm looking at some pictures where he has some more flesh on his face, and I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think.
Let me see him.
Yeah. But I think the age can sometimes make it make the read more challenging in certain ways.
This is the same guy.
Yeah, same guy. Yeah, this thing.
Right, this is the same guy. What I'm saying is I'm showing you pictures of him where he has more flesh on his face.
So I'm not sure exactly what you mean by flesh.
Or
Right, he has more flesh on his face. He looks less bony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely already bonier and also or wrinkled.
Less volume, yeah. And more.
Aber dass man nur staunen kann. Sprechen also besser als in Tübingen.
Yeah. That's true.
Ja, und das riecht an. Dann die Lektüre.
Glenn, were you saying that he seems more like a Z user or a G user?
I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Z.
Habe ich immer zwischendurch mal.
I'm still not really comfortable making a call just yet.
And Ben, from that picture, were you inferring that that would be more G or Z?
Oh, from that picture, I was thinking that might be Z.
Z or
Because
G?
I find it's easier to see the emoting when the cheeks are less bony. Like when you have really think of I'm thinking of like Vaiji Ron Paul right now. Like he has really bony, a very bony old crinkly facial structure. And I think that's part of what makes him difficult to see that he's a Vaiji over a Vaiji. He's read as a Vaiji for a long time. And he also has a lot of Zai development. So I'm thinking, okay, well maybe this is a Vaiji with a lot of Zai development who also has a very bony face. So I showed a picture of a Vaiji who had more flesh on his face. And I found that was a little bit easier, or it might be easier to see that he's a Vaiji if he is one.
Hey, what do you guys think of him in this picture? Because he's younger, and this picture that I just posted. He looks. That's an interesting picture.
What strikes you about this picture exactly?
Like.
Abenteuerlust auf den 8-Jährigen in die Fremdenlegion. Afrika ist für ihn der Inbegriff des Wilden und Ursprüngs.
Sure, he just looks different to me than he looks in the older pictures. And his eyes will look more open for one, which I guess is normal as you get older. Like your lid get more lidded, but he does have, pretty big, large eyes considering his face.
His eyebrows are not drooping as much, I guess.
I feel like his mouth looks downturned. What are your thoughts on that, everyone?
I was noticing that quite strongly, actually, too.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. I was just kind of keeping it to myself, but yeah. There are also vibes that have a lot of emoting too. I want to show you guys.
I feel like he's really strongly reminding me of George W. Bush, actually.
The W. This guy is also a Vaiji as well. I just want to show you guys his emoting. Let's see some pictures of him.
Were you getting a riff of him?
I wasn't necessarily getting a riff of him, even though he is old, but I wanted to show you guys his emoting and how...
not seeing.
You know, different Vizey have different looking faces, though, so it's like any random Vizey sample may not be a very good comparison.
Okay.
It's an interesting sample, though, Glenn, because I can more clearly see him as a shade of Nijai. This guy, Jerry Buss. I can sort of connect him to sort of Jaini and Nijai a little more easily.
Right.
Ernest Junger. Although at the moment I think I'm seeing the downturn mouth, like you guys said, and the Vi Alpha. So I'm putting that together to Vi Z as well.
Sure.
Let's see what else we can pull for him. I'm looking for interviews. Okay, I see one like 2-minute one. Oh, that's. I think we may have already seen this one.
Sous l'occupation, que vous avez commencé à lire la Bible en septembre 41 et que vous l'avez lu d'un bout à l'autre et vous avez.
Major General and Commander of the had to stand for.
Okay, that's his voice. I think that is it, guys, in terms of interview footage for him. Unless you know, I can put something that we've already seen. There's one where he's reading in a conference. Maybe we can see some naturals from that. Let me see.
Euse devient commandant des troupes de champ.
Wait, where's the dude?
Projectiles eux-mêmes. Comme
Okay.
c'est le. À la guerre, c'est une.
I think maybe they're reading his work, but that's not actually him. So.
I totally see what you're saying about George W. Bush. They do have a similar kind of riff to each other. But I don't know.
Sogar höher ausgezeichnet. Wurde dieses Stück Opfersinn und nationaler
euren Schlag gegeben hat. Ich hielt das einfach für kannibalisch, was uns da auferlegt wurde. Inzwischen habe ich ja nun gesehen, dass noch ganz andere Dinge möglich sind. Das war aber
This is actually a really good one.
Erfahrung,
Yeah, this might be the best
in denen
one.
ich aufgezogen worden
Follow
war,
them.
war das eine
As
ganz
far as
unglaubliche
footage quality.
Sache. Sie nannten sich selbst einen, der sich nicht schonte. Im Ersten Weltkrieg in den Wirbeln der
No, my power might go out.
und Fairnissen der Dämonenwelt. Sie haben das alles überstanden. Millionen andere
I
sind
see.
dabei zugrunde gegangen. Wie sehen Sie
I
das
see a
Phänomen Krieg
case
heute?
for Vice Z.
nannten Sie ihn
Yeah, I see the George W. Bush riff, especially in this one.
Herr Rüde?
Just like the way he's kind of looking out, like as a Vi Alpha. It's,
Nicht so schnell, wie sich die Dinge ändern. Wir sind also
Yeah, the downturn quality and then the cheeks, they look very, very.
I want to say the voice sounds more like a gravel than like a droney butter to me too.
What about like his lips? Do they seem more like lower lip focused?
Actually,
I think so.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That's what I was thinking. Like he does these like, I can't even do it because I don't have that. But I'm naturally more focused on the upper lip. But like, he's always doing this thing with his mouth where it like goes like.
His upper lip moves a
side
lot
down.
less.
Yeah, he doesn't really move his upper lip much at all.
ja, an irgendwelchen Grenzen.
That's actually a really good cue that you pointed out there, Mitchell. Thanks for that.
Wenn die Sachen sehr ernst werden, dann kann man nicht mehr von Krieg
His
reden.
mouth goes like into his face, like the way the Jai does. Often.
Großen, dynamischen Umfällen.
Like
Yeah, sometimes the bottom lip will kind of recoil into inside. I've seen that with the shy users.
Ja.
He's got a very Roman senator look about him. Like it looks like he'd be a sculpture from ancient Rome.
Well, yeah, they did do like soldiers and stuff, and Vizi are huge in the military. I mean, as far as that's just a fact. Vizi are the biggest mojo there that we have, and even writers that write about it.
Most I get the feeling that there's a lot of
Vizi are more commonly writers than Vizi in general, as far as writing about war. I don't know if that's true.
It seems like he would write a lot about like the strategy of war.
But even though a lot of them have like personal memoirs and things like that about their experiences.
He was the son of a successful businessman and chemist.
Successful businessman and chemist. Businessman kind of makes me think Vaiji a little bit. But
no, not necessarily. You got like Warren Buffett, the Koch brothers. They're all Vizi businessmen.
Oh yeah, Vizi are huge in business. True. They're actually not. They're fairly big in science. I mean, as far as we know, there are a ton of Vizi in science, but not much less than Vaiji, I wouldn't think.
Wenn ich ein Beispiel nennen darf, die Atombombe, die hätten wir heute sicher noch nicht. Aber wir wären noch nicht auf dem Standpunkt.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing Vizi quite notably now.
Yeah.
I was a little bit unconfident before, but now I feel like I'm seeing it a lot better, and it's thanks to you guys.
It's interesting. He is unusual though. If he is, I mean, he does have like a passion for like.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the upper cheeks. I'm not sure I'm seeing neutral. Like, I think I might be seeing emoting.
Yeah, I'm not completely confident myself.
Yeah, there's a little bit. There's a doubt there for sure.
That's sort of what I've been focusing on like this whole time. Like, is that like just straight up cooling in the cheeks, nothing else, or is there mowing going up there?
Because we are seeing him at his.
I've seen several pictures where it looks a lot like there might be mowing going up. I don't know.
He's also a poet. I've never seen Vizi poet before. That's a little unusual.
That's interesting.
There are Vaiji poets.
I mean, I understand, like there's a lot of downturns in the mouth in a lot of pictures, but maybe that's just a G mojo who has
a lot of Zai?
And is maybe just making a downturn expression a lot, or maybe it's expressing that emotion a lot.
And age does make their cheeks look more droopy. It does.
That's true.
Anyone see anything that would lead them to believe Naiji?
Naiji, I've actually considered that a little bit, but I'm not. It looks. I've seen a lot of evidence for concern in the eyes.
I considered it.
I considered it. I think the first thing. Like when Johnny said psychologist, the first thing I thought of was Carl Jung.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but he doesn't even look like that.
Like a hunter, because Naiji with a lot of Zai can sometimes take on.
If this guy is a Vaiji or Naiji, he has a lot of Zai, I would say for sure.
Der Standarte der Verkünder eines neuen Nationalismus, der von vielen auch als geistiger Wegbereiter des Nationalsozialismus. Aber 1930 wird in ihrem Werk die Trennung von den nationalsozialistischen.
I wonder what mojo is that guy? The guy who's talking to him.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He kind of looks like a young Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, this guy is very philosophical. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen to this. I'm reading the works of Nietzsche, Schopenhauer. I don't know. I don't know what that means, of like reading too much into his hobbies. It's not really focusing on his cues, but like it's pretty unusual for a Vaiji.
Like everything about his life and being like, oh, I wonder what the highest, like is.
Yeah, I mean, because if he is a Vi Alpha, then
the thing is though, Vi Alpha, they're often very worldly. Not otherworldly, but worldly. So cultured, familiar with art, poetry, things like that.
He himself is a poet, though.
Yeah.
Not familiar with it. He had a reputation as being a budding poet bohemian.
That is a little unusual, but from what we...
Well, I mean, George W. Bush, was known as a party guy in college, too. I mean, it varies. It can happen.
Yeah, I think his father actually writes poetry.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, I guess they do it more as sort of like like something that is passed down as a hobby, I think maybe, or I don't know. They kind of look at it more like in terms of their vibe. They're able to sort of like make it seem more like native to their vibe.
I mean, if he was a war hero in World War I in Germany, I mean, he's got a lot of philosophizing, a lot of explaining, a lot of apologizing, rationalizing, and thinking to do about all sorts of
not all
topics.
soldiers do
ethics.
that though. So
No, absolutely,
No.
but those that aspire to be leaders definitely have to contend and respond to these types of issues.
true.
He's not going to go unarmed into any sort of ethical debate or anything like that.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, he
What
has
do
to
you
be
think
open-minded
about
enough.
what do you think about this expression that he's making? Like you can see he's smiling there. Like, do you think the mulling is going up, or do you think that's just a shy, localized shy and aware smile?
Oh, that seems charming.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of does seem charming, doesn't it?
This guy's tricky.
Almost
I
reminds
wish
me
his
of
emoting
Vladimir.
went higher.
Almost reminds me of Zenai Vladimir Putin.
More soft, more yin energy than that.
Yeah.
Doubting Ziny, or excuse me, us as any, but C9.
Okay, I think we're at time, so we're gonna have to come up with our best
Dire
guesses.
Magpie, she was giving us a hard.
I know this is a toughie.
So coach is confirming that it's hard. Okay.
Even though he got it like in the
We're
first.
tackling this one.
For sure.
We'll start off with you, Bruno. Where did you land on him?
I'm going to guess Vizy.
Okay. Glenn?
I'm going to say Vi Z, but then Vi Ji can be second and Nai Ji can be third.
All right, sounds good. Ben?
I'm just gonna go with my highest guess and say Vaiji.
All right, sounds good. How about you, Mitchell?
It's tough. It's tough.
It is. Honestly, I'm gonna go with
Jinai. Just say Jinai.
Vijay.
Vijay.
No. This is really hard. Like I'm not confident at all in what I'm saying, but I would really want to ponder it more. But I'll probably go with by Z.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna say Vi Z.
But yeah, I definitely could see Vi G or 9G or even.
Okay, I'm gonna say
The same world.
Naiji with an understanding that he could totally be like a Vizi or something else. But I'm gonna say Naiji.
All right.
This year was hard, but I believe the W has it.
The W?
Yep, I believe it.
Yep.
Yeah, but he was
It's a
like
very poetic Vizi.
poetry there.
Yeah.
I kept coming and looking like I still think I'm seeing W.
Yeah, I gotta say, like when you started dropping like the poetry stuff off, I'm like, I'm just gonna ignore that because it's making me.
No, but actually, I
I'm
think
still
George
saying
Bush's
Vi Z.
father writes
Yeah.
poetry, by the way.
Yeah.
In all seriousness.
Yeah.
And George W is a painter.
Yeah, that must be like their D and J fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny for me when I heard poet.
I
I was
got
like,
two Ademus. I got George W. and I also got Don Shula a little bit.
Don Shula.
Coach.
He's just a kind of well-rounded Vizi.
Mm-hmm.
I guess can happen. It's like you have well-rounded Naiji. Like well-rounded romantics, I think it's like more forced to do that.
But similar to the other guy, he's smiley. He's used to being on camera. Like if you hear him talking, something you think about is he's automatically being stiff.
Right.
But George W. affable.
Mm.
And Don Shula known for being, rough, but like, style to him, and with could be engaging.
Yeah.
I believe so. I believe this is Vizy.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
Vizy Anarch. What? This is awesome.
All right. I am an anarch.
Oh, hey, who said the Roman thing? The Roman general.
I did.
Yeah.
Look at that. Is that him?
Maybe, yeah, let me pull
That's him. That's so awesome.
Running address.
I think you may have been honest on there.
Yeah, that's. Yeah,
I can't see it.
Oh.
Oh wait, yeah, I can.
There
What?
he does.
Like a Roman bust.
You got like a little Caesar haircut and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks the 5Z.
All right.
Very interesting sample.
Indeed. Okay, so great job, team. Well done. The plan is then Mitchell will take this week's samples.
Sure.
And then we're going to have Nijez Temple on Tuesday. Ben's going to bring a little show and tell story for us for the beginning, but then the majority of it is going to be Glenn, if you're up for that, for introducing a topic and playing moderator with that.
Oh, isn't it supposed to be Naiji Temple for that?
Is it Naiji Temple? I think it's Naiji Temple. It wasn't Naiji Temple last time?
I know, but that's
last time.
I know, but so I'm supposed to be the one that's bringing up a topic for the Nijez Temple?
Yeah.
You're Nijez, aren't you?
I mean, you're both Nijez and Naiju.
I'll see. Yeah, okay.
Okay. If you're not comfortable, that's totally fine. I can think of something if you feel awkward in that position.
I wasn't expecting it, but I'll try and see if I can come up with something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the plan is that 5:30 on Tuesday, Glenn will have something for us. Awesome. Okay, everyone. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful week.
All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.